everybody else, they can listen to the sound of my voice. Let's go. Let's talk about this. Let's get this thing going one way or another. My name is Law Nation, LAW Nation. I hope you guys hit that notification bell. As you guys know, I can only jump live when I find chances and time. And I really appreciate each and every last one of you all. Objectively looking at, we're going to talk about the NFC East. We get so much hate as it relates to this division. No respect, actually. There's no other division that got more Super Bowls than the NFC East. I'm going to repeat. There are no other divisions that got more Super Bowls than the NFC East. And we get all of the hate. You guys know how that thing go. But this is a certain division that we play each other hard. There's no sugarcoating around, you see. We don't like one another. We can't stand one another. We definitely hate to root for one another. So that's just how it goes. And, of course, you can see the trophies in the background. And there go the Eagles trophy right there. You know, no hate at the Eagles. They got their one. So shout out to them as well for getting their one, because we can always say that everybody got a trophy at hand. And my thing is, objectively looking at this division for the last 3 years, or you can say 4 years basically, there's only been two at play, you see, and that been the Dallas Cowboys and the Philadelphia Eagles. They're the only two teams that have been at battle with each other. You can say in the start of 2016, maybe, just maybe, when the Giants were doing their thing with Odell Beckham. I don't know why they got rid of him, but when they were doing their thing, you know, that was the situation, you see. But in the last 2 to 3 years, it's been Cowboys versus Eagles. Now, I will say this. Objectively looking at this thing, we can't sleep on the Redskins now. Redskin Nation, if there ever such a thing, they are stepping it up. They got a coach that's going to bring in some football situation stuff. You know, they're going to have a situation where they're going to be really playing, not like the Redskin football that we are accustomed to. So we're going to have to be mindful of that. Remember, the draft, it's just like 1 or 2 players away from changing the team tremendously. You know, shout out to you, Cindy. She said, I love your videos. I love you too, and I love your videos. Andrea, really appreciate you. Jonathan Durban, man, really appreciate you. Jet D, really thank you for tuning in to the nation. So my thing is, it's one of those things where we have to look at this thing and say to ourselves, let's not say that this division is a cakewalk. Let's not look at this division, dare I say, and say it's like what Tom Brady had to go through. Shout out to you, Daniel, man, that's on the Periscope, man. Really appreciate you. All right, so it's not like that. It's not like that. It's not like what you guys see behind me, you see. Everybody love to say, well, trash division. Anybody can get into this thing because we play each other rough. I don't know about you all. But outside of probably, I would say maybe the Ravens and the Pittsburghs, maybe that's a good battle right there, rivalry. Who else got a strong battle rivalry? Let me know. Post that down below. I don't think that nobody play each other hard as we do with each other, you see. I'm talking about the Cowboys versus Redskins. That's a big rivalry week. And then on top of that, you have the Giants versus the Eagles. That's a big rivalry. Cowboys versus Eagles, Cowboys versus anybody, basically. Shout out to you, Frankie. So this is Jonathan. What do you think of signing Byron Jones? Byron Jones is this guy right here. And objectively speaking about Byron, we love his skill set. We love the ability to take away and isolate a certain side of the field. We love to see that. I think that he was kind of misused in his first few years, playing him at safety. He never had to smooth his hips out there, you see. Kind of stiff hip, but he's athletic in a sense that his length, his ability to have hidden speed is great. His redirect is nice. His chuck at the line, he can stick with a tight end, even when he was playing safety, what have you. But my thing is the way the Cowboys utilize him is just, I don't know. I don't think that it can warrant 14 to 15 million a year for us to reach deep down in our pockets, you say. Green Bay / Chicago, Cedric. Jet D with the donation. Help grow the nation, man. Appreciate you, man, for the donation there. Chicago fell off, though. They had one good year before last, right? When they went and made that move for, I want to say, was it Malik? What was his name is? I forgot his name. They paid all that money for him. Khalil, what's his name? Help me out. I have brain trauma right now. I can't figure out the name. Billy, what's good with you? Shout out to your kid. Thank you for tuning in. Dallas versus Green Bay. Yeah, that's a very good situation there. We always have rivalry. See, our rivalry goes beyond just the NFC East. Yeah, Khalil Mack, my bad, Cowboy Nation. Really appreciate you, Griffin, man. Y'all gotta help a brother out, man. You know what? Let me take my little coffee right here. Let me sip on the little coffee. Nah, it's not coffee, but it's good. It's good for you. All right, so 49ers, Seahawks. I don't know. I don't know if that's a real rivalry there. But the NFC East, I will say this. The NFC East, we carry. We carry the NFL. Shout out to my Cowboys family. I always go Cowboys. Yes, indeed. Go in our sleeps. Yes, we say go Cowboys all day, every day. James, what's good with you, man? Alon, do you think the Cowboys, this is a lot of people want to know with the Byron Jones, so this is from Jonathan again. My thing is with this Byron Jones, with this Dak Prescott, and who else we need to sign? Anthony Brown, are we going to re-sign him? Did we re-sign him? Anthony Brown, who else? Malik Collins. Who else is a marquee guy for the Cowboys? That's about it, right? Those are the guys that we really need to look at and have that talk and that conversation with. I think that what hit us by surprise, Aaron says there's always been a tough division. Yes, Jason Witten. I think that he's just going to be a guy that probably should be gone. Patriots and Bills. There is no division. There is no rivalry right there. But my thing is the Cowboys may figure out a way to still re-sign Anthony Brown, believe it or not. And they always do something that we're not expecting them to do, right? Re-signing Anthony Brown, believe it or not, putting a tender on Byron Jones, and the news that came out earlier this week with the Dak Prescott situation. Here's the craziest thing. I got to put this out before we go into other. Natasha says, calling voice, there's a guy. But what we have to do is look at it from here. What they did with the information that was leaked actually benefited Dak Prescott camp. And on top of that, it always goes to this right here. I got to put this out there before we start doing mock drafts and what have you. And here's the thing. When they said that he turned down $33 million, right? So we already know, collectively speaking, that $33 million is already an offer. It's on the table. We don't know the extent of the years. We don't know the guaranteed money. We don't know that part of the conversational piece. But we do know from our minds and from our limited knowledge of this situation that it's $33 million out there on the table. I don't know if there's a life expectancy of that. Marvin, really appreciate you for the donation to help grow the nation. Let the AI speak. Come on, AI. She took the day off. Come on, AI. You got to speak. So with the $33 million, you better not start speaking when I'm going over this $33 million. The $33 million that was left on the table, we know for sure that they will warrant him not to sign the franchise tag, because we know for sure without a shot of a doubt that there's 33 on the table. Let me see what my guy. Oh, that's why the AI didn't speak. Marvin, I thought you was going to put something in the comment box, man. But I really appreciate the donation to help grow the nation. I'm sitting here like, let the AI speak. So when you make the donation, man, to help grow it, man, put something down in the comment, man. I'll wait for you to say something, man. He said, what's up, Cowboys family? I'm sitting here like, let the AI speak. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the bass. But so that would not entice him to say, okay, I'm going to sign this 27 mil or 28 mil. I think the contract starts with the franchise with him because they're not going to give him a non-exclusive contract. So they're going to give him a franchise that's be the exclusive contract of it. Starts at 33. So if I'm Dak Prescott and I look at it, I would try to really pivot, or I would try to really look at Jerry Jones and company and say, well, I'm not going to play on $33 million for 1 year when I got $33 million for multiple years, you see. So I think that that's why the Cowboys camp then later on and said, okay, the contract is heating up and these sorts of things. So that's what I like. That's what I like to hear. But at the same time, we as Cowboys fans, before we get into the Eagles and the Giants and the Washington team, we as Cowboys fans, double donation to help grow. Let the AI speak.
We are listening to nothing but the best.
Oh, yeah.
Salute.
Appreciate you, man. I thought she took the day off, man, when I saw I said, what happened to the AI, man? Really appreciate you, man. Help growing this thing, man. I can't say this enough, man. The love and adulation that you have for this team and for me, man, it's taking us far and beyond. So now when we go out to Oxnard, I don't have to beg people for hamburgers and French fries. 36 million. This is from Timothy. Yeah, shout out to you. Brian Drake, what's up, man? What's up with you? Y'all ready for it? Are y'all ready for it? So this is what we'll do. I think that the Giants got a new coaching situation. So they're not going to be the same team who they were last year. And I heard news that the Eagles are saying that they're going to put the play sheet back into their head coach's hand, you see. And, of course, I think, here this is just my thought, that Doug Peterson is a great play caller. He cut from the same cloth, dare I say, Andy Reid. And Andy Reid is a phenomenal, I'm going to say a phenomenal play caller. And probably goes down in the NFL as historically one of the greatest play callers of all time. So that's something for us to look back and say, man, if you can put some more pieces around Carson Wentz, dare I say a Henry Ruggs, or this wide receiver class is nasty. And I always say this, and this is just me objectively speaking, so I don't want nobody, especially Cowboy fans, be like, man, look at Law. He pumping up those Eagles, man. He pumping up those Redskins. Look, Law's pumping up those Giants. He's saying that we don't have a chance, man. He ain't a real Cowboy. He's fickle. No. But what I'm saying is that if you saw what the Eagles did last year, and you can look at the draft or what have you, or the free agent, because they got some paper, they can really change their organization just like this, you see, and that can happen for them, you see, a Henry Ruggs or somebody else, because they thought that they were going to get that type of person, a speedster with a Deshaun Jackson, but he folded up just like a lawn chair. I hope the brother can be okay with everything that's going on. I'm not wishing injury on him, but he folded, right? So they didn't have that weapon per se. On top of that, when you look at the Eagles, they never killed you with wide receivers anyway. It was when they won the Super Bowl, it was run, Eagles run, stout defense, front four, clog up the lanes or what have you, and everybody else fly and chase to the ball. Of course, play solid defense. The defensive back was hungry, and they shut down, and they showed everybody, you put a little pressure under Tommy Brady, he'll fold like a lawn chair. So that's what they were able to do. Run the rock, keep the time of possession, throw the ball in the middle of the field. Hell, you could put anybody back there as the quarterback, and they were able to win games, you see. That's why you had the Nick Foles of the world doing his thing. So When you look at it, they are not that far apart and removed from what they did in 2017, if you know what I mean. So when you look at their particular team, it's one of those things where you got to say, man, the draft can change them tremendously. And on top of that, on the tippy top, it even made my deep voice go away. On the tippy top, you figure out a way to get some outside guys and some linebackers in their situation. Boy, it'll be nightmares for us. That's why the NFC is always hard. That's why it's hard. Think about it. That kid, that running back that they got from Penn, what's his name? Put it down in the comment box. Sanders. What's his first name? I forgot his. What's Sanders' first name? Put it down in the comment box. Help a brother out. Jesse, what's good with you, man? Thank you for tuning in on the Facebook panel. Yes, Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. That's what I'm talking about. Love you, John Deal. Miles Sanders running miles and miles away. Miles and miles away. And he went on one of those shows and he put out the blueprint on how they beat the Dallas Cowboys. I wish I had a guy that I can say, hey, play that clip, and I'll be having one of those superstar shows. Booby Miles. Yeah, this is what's his name? Booby? Where you get Booby from? But Booby Miles, if that's what he goes by. Booby Miles was running all over us. How was he doing that? Because we didn't have no discipline. No discipline. People love Rob Marinelli. People love him when he was coaching our team. But his team consistently showed no discipline in their run support. You don't go 0-16 for by mistake. You know what I'm saying? You don't go 0-16. Was he the guy that went 0-16? Let me know. Educate the nation, baby. So we didn't have a disciplined football team, and I'm ready to see what this team is going to look back in at last year and beyond. We went 7 consecutive years with a defensive guy being suspended in some shape, form, or fashion. So, although we got a new regime, but we're going to see whether or not that curse is still here and what they're going to do with it when it happens, you see. So, we have to look at that, and we have to look real deeply. All right, so that's my evaluation for the Eagles. My evaluation for the New York Giants. We don't know, but we do know Jason Garrett. So what do Jason Garrett like to do? We got to look at into those contexts, man. Star Boy, what's good with you for the donation to help grow the nation? Damian Arnett from OSU. He's a corner. Yes, indeed. I don't have Damon as one of my top tier guys. He's probably top 10, but I don't have him as my top 5. And that's just how I look at it from his skill set or what have you. But let this thing go through right quick, and I give you my top cornerbacks right quick. But I got Jeff Gladney over him. I have C.J. Henderson over him. I have Christian Fulton over him. And I have Jeff Okudah over Damon Arnett. But I still have, Trayvon Diggs. I have him above him, as well as the A.J. Terrell. I like Jalen Johnson physicality. So we will see, though. That's why the combine is right around the corner. And on top of that, we will have to wait and see what his measurables are and what he plays like as it relates to his shuttle speed, his 3-cone drill, and his 60-yard shuttle. So that's what I'm waiting for with Damon Arnett. But we will see, though. And I can't put a final grade on none of these guys like I did with my mock draft. So it's going to be a situation where we have to just sit back and wait. But I appreciate you guys for giving me the information. Here's another thing, Cowboy Nation, that I got to say this too. Shout out to those that's on my floor day. Really appreciate you on my Facebook panel. Don't forget to hit that share button. Share this thing all the way out. Facebook Nation, and also Twitter Nation and Twitch Nation and Periscope Nation. I really appreciate you all because we're live on all of those platforms. Just type in LAWS Nation and you should see my name, face, and logo. But now that I got that out the way, Cowboy Nation, let's just do this. Let's run a quick mock draft, and we're going to pick let's do it like this. We're going to pick the NFC East, if that's cool with you all. So we're going to pick this team. That's the first team, which is the best team. You guys know how that go, right? And we're going to pick that team, and we're going to pick this team, and we're going to pick that team, okay? And we're going to I got to find my back music because I can't just do this without the music going in the background. I really appreciate each and every last one of you all. Let me know how you guys feel about, everything. Let's go with, y'all want to go with the, what music do I really want to play in the background? Let's go with this one. How about that? Let's get y'all crunk for a second. Yeah, let's go. Let's do a quick 3-round with it. Hey, all right. Let's zoom this thing up, baby. No party like a cowboy party, yeah. Quiet it out a little bit, just a little bit. Yeah. Bring that down just a little bit. Go. Let's go. Right. All right, nation. Really appreciate you all. Thank you all for tuning in to this thing. So this is brought to you by the Draft Network, and if you are able, let me see if I can just copy this for everybody so I can put this in the comment box so everybody can have a chance to play along and be along and give credit to them. Check out their website, hit them up, and let them know that you got their information from the nation. How about that? So this will be in everybody's inbox right now. So you guys should be able to see that link in your inbox so that we can get this thing going properly. Really appreciate each and every last one of you all. But let's look at the results. And they said here, and Cowboys, you can go back and forth with this, but team needs for the Cowboys are cornerback, safety, interior defensive line, edge rush guy, wide receiver, tight end, inside offensive lineman, as well as offensive tackle. For the, dare I say, team needs for the New York Giants, edge rusher. They need a guy that can capture the edge, and need linebacker, offensive tackle, safety, wide receiver, cornerback, and there you go. The team needs for the Eagles would be cornerback, linebacker, wide receiver, safety, outside linebacker, edge rusher, quarterback. They need one, and running back. Team needs for the Washington team would be edge guy, offensive tackle, wide receiver, cornerback, as well as running back, safety, tight end. Man, they just put a list out there so long, longer than Shaq feet, basically. All right, so what we're going to do is, of course, they go with Derek Willis. My thing is, that guy, that kid, he is a guy that is going to help out the Washington team. Not bad at all. That's from Alabama. Just a stonewall guy, good with his feet. Can move furniture. You like that, but that's who they went with the fourth pick, which I don't want to see 2 games out of a year. The New York team went with Isaiah Simmons. Now, Isaiah Simmons is a guy that can play linebacker, safety. He can do it all. This kid can do it pretty much everything as from A to Z. So that's who the Giants go with. Let me stroll all the way down to the 17th pick, the Cowboys. This is just a mock draft. CJ, he's one of my dogs out there. Lanky, can redirect, got good hips. They're not oily like Okuda, but they're good. Good off his transition, can bat the ball down with those long arms, get into the face of the opposition. So he's not docile at all. He's a guy that's going to be in your face. And on top of that, he can play right or left corner. He'll be a guy that's on this particular team that you will probably, and this is just me as I set this up and contextualize it, you will probably forget about Byron Jones just a little bit. Because he will make plays on the ball. So that's with our 17th pick. And, of course, the Eagles, they go with Kenneth Murray. Now, when you look up Kenneth Murray or what have you, you will see that, he, of course, Bama. You see how they go. Or Oklahoma, I'm sorry. Oklahoma, 6'2", 234 pounds. He's an explosive guy. Athleticism is out the roof. Kenneth Murray, I got him probably at my third linebacker situation because I have Queen and I have who's the other kid? I have Simmons above Kenneth Murray. So here's the situation with him. Let me see the cons because everybody loves to see the cons right quick. Let me drop all the way down. Best trait is range. Worst trait is decision making. Okay, and they compared him to Stephon Anthony. Don't know who that is, but if you guys can find that guy out, help a brother out. But let me see where the cons are at, and I can tell you right quick. Struggles here. Will initiate contact with length and to look and shock aggressively, hand placement. I didn't get a chance to look at Kenneth all the way, but I did get a chance to look at the guy, Queen or what have you, and Isaiah Simmons. But I will say, as it relates to negative film or what have you, but I will tell you guys this right quick. This may be a good move for them altogether. I've seen people reach out to me and say, well, Law, you got to really put Kenneth in this type of situation. If it for the Eagles, you got to say to yourself, they got their front four that's nasty. They got some guys that will attack to the ball as it relates to safety play. He will be able to play freely. And that's what somebody hit me up with when they said that the Eagles should go with him. So that may be a great steal for them. Don't shoot the messenger, but it is what it is. Shout out to Kenneth Murray. I only saw a few of his tape. Didn't get a chance to look at the negative side of his tape. So y'all just bear with me. Don't charge it to my heart, but just charge it to my head. Let's go with it. All right, so with that being said, let me just go to the quick preview stance right here. So when we look at everything with the second pick, the Cowboys go with Anton Winfield. Hey, this kid right here, as you guys know, his father played football, right? You know, his father played football for, I think, the Bills or somebody like that. He was a guy that we probably looked at a long time ago, his father, and said, man, we would like to get him, but we are locked down with Terrence Newman, and we had the other guy on the opposite end at the time when he was a free agent, I remember. But, hey, this kid got potentials. He's smallest frame, but he plays through the echoes of the whistle, flies and chases to the ball like no other. And I like his overall skill set, even when we look at the cons or what have you, whereas his top speed is not there. And on top of that, a lot of people saying that, hey, he just not a guy that's going to physically play throughout the entire 60 snaps or what have you. But I say, nah, give this kid a chance, an opportunity. Dilpet, more of it. This is my Cowboys family. Really appreciate them. He says Dilpet, more of a free safety than a strong safety, but can use him with Woods and flip their positions to confuse the AB and offense. Here's the thing is with Dilpet, and I like Dilpet. Trust me. I've seen scouting reports have Dilpet falling all the way to the second round. But here's the thing with Dilpet. If you look back at some of the LSU tape, you will say to yourself, boy, boy, he whiffed on some tackles. And the last thing we want to see is somebody folding up and whiffing on tackles. But Grant Dilpet may be a dog in the NFL on the next level, and he may be one of those people where we say, man, boy, what a gem. Why we didn't pick him up? That's just how it goes. Shout out to Q Childs, man. Really appreciate you, Rue, and as well as those that's watching in on the Facebook. Christopher McNair, thank you for tuning in. All right, so we're going to get out of this one, and we're going to roll all the way down to T. Higgins. That would be a crazy pickup for the Eagles, objectively speaking. Kenneth Murray with the first, and then the second round, they come squeeze around and get a T. Higgins. My goodness, that would be nasty for them. All right, so with the 66th pick, but let me just break down T. Higgins for some of the few Eagles people that's probably watching this. You see that right here? 6'4", 6'4" frame or what have you. That speaks everything as it relates to catch radius. You already got a monster in the inside. You got a monster in the inside with Zach Ertz, Dallas Goedert. You see, you got somebody that can catch the ball in the backfield. A Booby Sanders, from what I learned today. His name is not Miles, Booby Sanders, right? On top of that, if you think about it, maybe D-Jack come back for a cup of coffee next year. I don't know. Maybe he come back for a cup of coffee, right? On top of that, too, you got a kid that displays great athleticism. Top of his route. He can run the 9 routes right here. Foot quickness, all of those good things. He's not suspect as it relates to blocking, as it relates to run situations. On top of that, now you will have Doug Peterson calling the plays, dare I say. So we will see. Here's the cons on it. We all love cons, right? We love the negative, right? So let me just show you guys some of the negative. If you got supervision, you can see the cons on here. Need to become more consistent using his hands. Press off the LOS. Here's the thing, and what I learned, that even in the NFL, as much as we say this, hey, need to be able to get separation off the LOS. Need to be able to get that. I've seen more and more people in the NFL, players, DBs, they don't press as much. They're not that pressed. They don't press as much as they used to back in the days. I've seen the NFL give a lot of people free releases. And then on top of that, I think that offenses now are so creative. If a person is having struggles getting off the LOS, you rotate them. You have them off the line or what have you. You line them inside. You see? So there's so many ways, motions and counter sweeps and things like that to get their wide receiver comfortable. So that's what I have on Higgins for the, dare I say, Eagles there. Trayvon Diggs. Okay. All right. So here's the thing with Diggs right here. Like I said, he's one of my dogs too. He's a scrapper. He's a guy that's going to be able to get in your face. 6'2", 207 pounds. He is quick. He's great in the zone coverages right there. On top of that, he's going to a team where their front four is going to be flat out nasty. Stephanie Anthony is from the Saints. He's a linebacker law. Shout out to you, Jonathan Durban. Man, really appreciate you for educating the nation, man. It's wild. Money. Rue Glock. How you doing, Law Philly? Shout out to you, man. Thank you for tuning in. Yada, yada, yada. Shout out to you, Benny. Man, thank you for tuning in. Smash that like button from Rue, man. Really appreciate you, Rue, for tuning in to the nation. So, Diggs is nice. Larry Muncherson is really nice. I like him too. 6'2", 294. He's going to be a guy who can play 2 gap system as well as with the 1. He is a guy that I told everybody once before that his parents should have named him Law Muncherson. I'm telling you, he probably went the first round if his name was Law. But with that being said, he's a guy that we pick up and scoop up in the later rounds there, and I like his collective skill set. As well. So inside defensive lineman from NC State. Y'all look up his information. Oh my goodness. I definitely don't want this to happen for the Eagles to pick up a Mick Robertson. Y'all check him out, Louisiana Tech. The guy's a thumper. One can say that he's similar to Antonio Winfield. But my thing is with Mick Robertson, I've seen people made the analogy or the comparison, I meant to say, that he's the next Honey Badger. Just let that sink in. So, with that being said, those are the first few rounds. Let me see what we got on the second page. Let me see what we got. That was all of them. That was all of them right there. So, with that being said, those are all of the people right here that we had as this mock draft. So, let's just want to give you guys some of my thoughts on how this team can really change from maybe if you look at it from here, if you look at it from this thing, these teams can actually change real quickly. If you really look at it, if you think about it real hard, these teams can really change. And it could be one of those situations where we can say to ourselves, man, if we don't capitalize off of the fact that if these teams are not willing to make the necessary adjustments, boy, we can be looking back and saying, what happened? Why are they all of a sudden got guys flying out to the ball, chasing, hitting, you see, and we looking in and we talking about contracts? Because remember, the free agency is right around the corner. So a team can change dramatically from the free agency situation. And then we will have the draft. And then after the draft, we have our quote unquote other free agents that's here. So there's ways where we can look at this thing and say, man, oh man, oh man. Let me read some more of y'all comments, man. Really appreciate you all for tuning in to the nation. Let me see. We've been live for 36 minutes. Yes, indeed. All right, so on an ill-advised show, I really appreciate you all. Let me see what we have over here. Jess, what's good with you? Says, I believe if we start Jordan Lewis this year, keep him as well as we'll come out with a lot more interceptions this season. I agree with you 100%. I do agree with you 100%. I do. So, with that being said, Cowboy Nation, Ruth said, Law, you have some great quotes there, man. Oh, they okay, man. They okay. They okay, man. We just got to continue to grind. And when you grind, you shine, right? Law, let me see. Law, you don't think that Anthony Harris will be a Cowboy? My thing is with Anthony Harris, or he's from Minnesota, right? He's from Minnesota, the guy from Minnesota, right? Let me see how I can put this, and I'm trying to be objectively speaking. We would have to have this to happen. We would actually have to see how much money he's demanding. And on top of that, we have to look at this thing and say, can we afford to really push that, envelope over? And I'm glad that you mentioned that. So let me see how we can circumvent this and look at the facts before I believe I see some ill-advised. Let's go here. And we're going to go spoke track. Because he should be a free agent, right? Let's see. Anthony Harris. And 28 years old. Make sure you guys can see what I see. Yep, you guys can see what I see, yeah? Okay. What's his market value? That's the situation right there. 13.8. That's about, let me see. Let's go here again. because you know how the Cowboys do, man. You know how we do. That's a lot of money, 13.8, and let's see, they don't even have his market value out here yet. His market value was 14 point something. You see, this is for see, they don't have his market value. So his market value should be around 14 mil. I don't know why they took it off. Byron signs a 4-year contract, $8.6 million. That's his rookie's contract, of course. So he was making average annual of 2.1. So either they gonna re-sign Byron Jones or they gonna reach into their pockets and get this kid. There's a lot of ways to look at that, Cowboy Nation, and I don't know. I don't know. Law, what's good, Law? What do you think of Ken Law, Jonathan Cook? I think that Ken Law he helps out everybody. He absolutely help out everybody. Ken Law help out everybody, and I think that if you have somebody like Ken Law, and just hear me out, Cowboy Nation. He help out the Byron Jones of the world, right? He would help out dare I say, Xavier Woods. He help out a D-Law, you see. So those are so many ways we can look at this thing, Cowboy Nation. But I will say this with the draft. We have high hopes and high expectations of these particular players. We have high thoughts. We will say to ourselves, man, this guy, he's going to come in and change out everything. But the reality of it is an unknown commodity outside of probably the first few picks. But still, you have to scratch your head and say there's going to be some growing curves. You see, there's going to be some learning pains, and there's going to be some trials and tribulations. Just like when the preacher preached, there's going to be some hardships in this particular person's career. But we're going to have to be the ones that's going to be really listening in and trying to pull back what the coaching staff is saying and see whether or not they can see something that we don't see. That's the reality of it. What about Bennett? He's going to do what Bennett's going to do. This is from Natasha. I think that Bennett, I don't think that they'll re-sign Bennett, but it would be nice for us to really look at him and for him to be a bridge, what have you. But last season, it didn't get us nowhere by putting Bennett on this particular front four. It didn't get us nowhere. Yes, he made some splash plays, but I would rather for the Tristan Hill kid to get out there and learn something and be something and get some valuable snaps. Because what happened is that we went and got this kid in the second round. We only played him for limited snaps. So dare I say this year we have to put him in the mindset of being a rookie again because he had limited snaps. So that's what the draft would do. If you don't play your young kids, you don't know. Just like I go all the way back to what I said with the Jarwin kid. We don't know who he is. He showed us a glimpse of some opportunities and say, man, that this kid is dynamic. He's fantastic. But we don't know if he can do this through a current, 60-minute game or what have you, or 60-snap game, or we don't know if he can match up back-to-back good games. We don't know whether or not he started feeling himself a little bit when they do an ESPN special on him. You see, there's so many things, you see. So all I can say is player evaluation is 365. I just saw a guy named Marquette King? I murdered his name, Marquette King. Kicked a 70-yard punt. So they need to bring in everybody they have a chance and an opportunity on. That's just how it goes, Cowboy Nation. And as well as everybody else that's watching this particular platform. Really appreciate you all for tuning in to the nation. Let me see if I can go over. Let's see who we have here. Jet D. Yeah, you're right. Dak versus Brady conversation. This is from RC Cowboys Hendricks. My thing is with Tom Brady. Everybody know. Football purists, we love Tom Brady's skill set, right? We love what he was able to do for the game, regardless of how he won or what have you, and what he did in the NFL. The brother got 6 rings. That's hard to do. It's hard. You can say Spygate, Deflategate, Football Gate. You say, take your money under the table gate. I still believe before it's all said and done that they're going to do a ESPN 30 for 30. What if I told you Tom Brady got paid under the table? I guarantee you it'll probably come out. It'll probably come out 10, 15 years from now. And we can see Tom Brady cry and say, yeah, I cheated. Yeah, they're kicking me out of the Hall of Fame, But here's the thing, though. The guy is a brain. He's everything as it relates to football knowledge. He never had the strongest arm. He never was the fastest. He was never the guy that you can look up and say, man, he's going to be a baller. But he defied the odds by either outstudying you, the competitive edge. I never heard one person say a negative word about Tom Brady as it relates to football on the field and off the field. So shout out to him, man. And he's going to leave from this game with his name forever being tied in with the NFL. What's your thoughts on Cooper? This is from Kevin. My thoughts on Cooper, for the gods of football, abandon him. My thoughts on Cooper. My thing is with Amari Cooper. He played through an injury all season long. I want you all, and shout out to all of the mods, man. I really appreciate you all. He played with that injury all season long. All season long. I encourage people with just using Google. Not even if you had the experience of plantar fasciitis, located on, I think it was on his left foot, which it would be his driving plant foot or what have you. Or it could have been his right. I forgot which foot. But my thing is with Amari Cooper, when you have that type of injury and you look up the time frame that it takes for that injury to go away, it literally says 6 to 8 weeks. I want people to know, have you ever seen Amari Cooper sit out for 6 to 8 weeks? I'm waiting on that. That's all I want to say. That's all I want to say. Franchise Cooper, I don't know, man. I think move on from him and draft the best receiver at 17. This is from Kevin. Nah, man, nah. I love wide receiver play, but your brother, man, is a defensive guy. Law, let me tell y'all why I love defense. I play defense for one. Lock down, get down. I'm going to lock you down. For two, I got to tell you guys this. When you look up defense and you start thinking about defense, as much as we love Pat Mahomes, and I know I'm going to get some hate mail for this, but shout out to you all. Shout out to you, Deion Sanders. As much as we love Pat Mahomes, he don't win that Super Bowl if they don't get turnovers and takeaways. If Chris Jones don't clog up that passing lane and take on two so it can clear up Frank Clark to get around that edge, to put a little pressure. If they don't stop that run, they don't win the Super Bowl. The 49ers would have been up there with 6 Super Bowl rings. As much as we love the greatest passer of the game right now, they do not win that Super Bowl if that defense don't show up, if they don't pull the trigger and pick up a honey badger, dare I say, who the defensive coordinator said that when the honey badger came aboard, he changed the whole culture for their particular defense. The locker room changed. And it's something about when you've been able to display and show your body of work out there on the field, and not just on the field, but Mondays through Saturday. There's something special about defense. Law, what are you talking about, man? We need offense. But I can go back and say, I seen Bradshaw win 4 Super Bowls. I haven't seen it. You see, but I look back at the tape. Bradshaw, he won 4 Super Bowls. Whoever this along the time frame can argue and say, man, that boy had the steel curtain. Boy, he had some defense, man. I've seen the likings of, I'm not going to use the 90 Cowboys because we were just good on both sides of the ball. But I can say the 90s Cowboys, and you look back and you think about the Buffalo Bills. Yeah, they had Bruce Smith out there, but they didn't have our type of defense. And yes, they had pretty much the first coming of the greatest show on the turf. Jim Kelly throwing his thing around, being in multiple Super Bowls, couldn't win one because the defense folded. But let's fast forward a little bit further. Let's talk about the Trent Differs of the world, right, with a Super Bowl ring. The Brad Johnsons with a Super Bowl ring. You see, defense. That's why I love defense. We can go back and say was it Flacco's? Eli. Defense. Although Eli's defense wasn't ranked top 10 defense the year that they won it, but they had guys. They can fly out to the ball, take the ball away. And if you think about it, I got to continue. Trent Differs, of the worlds, right? I got to say this. The year the Saints won the Super Bowl, the one Super Bowl that they got, what did they do that year? Turnovers and takeaways. Oh, Law, can you go a little bit further on this defense situation? I can go back to the Peyton Manning, the brain, the brilliant. He never had the strongest arm, but he knew where everybody should be at with the ball. And y'all, you can see it, Dwight Freeney. Bob Sanders taking the ball away. You see, forcing the opposition to fold. Defense. Law, can you continue to go further with this defense? Oh, you can say all of the Patriots Super Bowl. You guys get what I'm coming from? So that's why I love defense, man. And then you can talk about the Denver Broncos, the year that they made it all the way to the Super Bowl. And then they faced the Seattle Seahawks. They had a high-flying offense. They was doing everything you can name on the offensive side of the ball. But, baby, when it's time for them to get to that Lombardi trophy in that Super Bowl that first year, that first time, the Legion of Boom said, baby, here we go. They made Peyton Manning turn into a pretzel, you say. That defense was nasty. And all I could think about is, come on, Cowboys. We need that type of defense. We need that type of situation to be over here in Big D. And it just never happened for us, right? And then we saw glimpses of it. But I think, and can I speak freely, Cowboy Nation? Jonathan, can I speak freely, Cool Breeze, man? Can I speak freely, Jet D? Y'all want me to speak freely? Keith Parrish. Can I speak freely? You guys are going to crucify me if I do. Can I speak freely? The 85 Bears. Yes, Martin. See, you go all the way back. Legion of Boom. Jamal, can I speak freely? I want to know, can I speak freely before I say this? Speak it. Okay, good. I just wanted y'all permission before I do this. Yes, Keith said, go ahead. I think that our defense, we start smelling ourselves. We start giving ourselves nicknames. We start saying that, yes, we belong in this category. You see? I think that we outspoke our wisdom tooth. You see? I think that we hit the bell and rung the bell and said, hey, man, this is us, man. Hey, man, hey, we start smelling ourselves too fast. We start talking about the brand, the lifestyle, the logo, the hot boys, you see. We start saying to ourselves, this is Sparta! And then all of a sudden, I think that that's what happened. And trust me, I love moxie. I love the fact that when you can walk into somebody's face and say to yourselves, okay, we dominant, we going to get this thing going one way or another. And then on top of that, There's nothing wrong with that. It's nothing wrong with it. But I would rather for us to do the talking about our actions on the field. I would rather for that to happen. But, it didn't work that way out for us. It didn't. It didn't happen for us in those those ways. And it's just how it goes, man. We count our eggs before we hatch. Even the DBs, they were thinking about how can they outrank the front four, and it's good if you're winning. Trust me, it's good when you're winning. And they say, well, let's come up with a clever name, or the linebackers or whoever came up with a clever name. What if I told you we're gonna name ourselves the Purge Squad? And remember, you're listening to absolutely nothing but the best. Hear that little last bass? I'm gonna hear it one more time. Hear that little last little. My thing is with that, Cowboy Nation, the funny part about that, believe it or not, and I gotta poke at my Cowboys because I love them. This is a love joke, right? Technically, I gotta say this. They all got purged. Oh my goodness, man. Oh man. They all got purged. But here's the thing though. My thing is we look at this team, we look at the NFC East. It's not up for grabs again. It is. It is up for grabs, right? Come on, camera. Get with me, camera. Get with me, camera. Yeah. Camera even shut off on me. But my thing is, Cowboy Nation, when we think about this, collectively speaking, and I have to say this in a better way, this NFC East, we play each other hard, we play each other rugged, and on top of that, let me see if I can fix my camera. They just want y'all to see that trash can better. They want y'all to see that trash can for the Giants better. Let me see. Bam, there I go. Let me cover up the star, man. Let me hide that trash can. You know what I mean? Let me see if I can hide that trash can. Let's see if bam, there we go. All right, so when we talk about this NFC East, we have to say to ourselves, we got to be ready for the battle. We got to be ready for the fact that the Eagles can regroup. They can get a Kenneth Murray. They can go get a who else they had on there? Let me see who else they had in the second round or whatever. Let me see who they had. I forgot who they had already. Let me see. Y'all charge it to my head. They can mock draft. They can get a T. Higgins. You see, and they get my guy a Mick Robinson. They can get those dogs right there, and that's a solid draft. Kenneth Murray, T. Higgins. Of course, they got to play on Sundays and Mondays and Thursdays, but that would be a solid draft for them, and they can look at it and say, "Hey, we won the division last year with Walmart All-Stars." You see, we won the division last year with a rookie, dare I say, running back. They could be a team to be a wrecking ball, a wrecking force, or the Giants. The Giants can sit back, always lady, really appreciate you. Smith, shout out to you, man. The Giants can look at this thing and be optimistic too and say, hey, we just got their coach who pretty much know all of the players. They know all of the insights of the players. Yes, they think that all he does is clap, but he knows what ticks with the players. He evaluated, he drafted Dak Prescott, he drafted Cooper Rush, he drafted Jalen Smith, he drafted Jordan Lewis. He knows his team from A to Z. And they can be a team that all of a sudden surprise everybody because they do have a dynamic running back, Saquon Barkley. They do have a rookie, sophomore quarterback who is just now coming along the way, and they have a dynamic tight end. I tell people all the time, the best friend to any quarterback is the tight end. Ingram is nobody to sneeze at. So they got that pieces. On top of that, if you think about their front four, it's going to be nasty. Leonard Williams is going to be really in tune with that particular defense. They can make some pieces together. Then all of a sudden you look at the draft and say, Baker was nobody to sneeze at outside of playing against Amari Cooper because he made him, his baby. But then if you add in a Simmons, so that could be a team that all of a sudden hit fire, right? Now moving over to the Washington team, different coach, different approach, new team, but the front four is nasty. Good God that we got Tom Sula from them, you see, who can give us some insights on them, dare I say. But also, they got linebackers that's going to come back. I think the Foster kid, he's going to come back into the scene. Then on top of that, their front four can get out to you. Even though the last game of the season we won, we beat them by large margins. But you can say for that first quarter or so, first half, it didn't look that pleasant to our eyes, you see. So now they have a better coach. Who knows? The Redskins could be one of those teams. And this is not law sitting there saying, because I'm in fear for the NFC East, because I think that we are the beast, the Dallas Cowboys, you see. But those are things that can happen. Now, on the flip side, the Dallas Cowboys are our team, the team that we love. But a lot of Cowboy fans that hate the Cowboys, believe it or not, because of our decisions and these sort of things, man, we still have to figure out tight end play because we don't know what Blake Jarwin is, right? We do have a dynamic running back situation with Ezekiel, the main man, Ellie, the path of the righteous man. And then on top of that, you add in what Pollard is going to do. We look at the wide receiver situation. My thing is the Joneses don't need to sully the water. They need to still stand firm because Cooper said it's not about the money with him. And Dak said the same thing. So let's just be fair with them. And whatever they're asking for, if it's got to do with anything dealing with PC talk or ticket sale talk, stop it, Joneses. Go ahead and sign them up. Let's not muddy the waters by going into this offseason with this hanging over our heads. Because we've seen this story before with the DeMarco Murray situation. We don't need him. Anybody can run behind his offensive line. We saw that same breath of talk going through that process with Desmond Bryant, him holding out, sitting out, not being able to practice and being with the team. And then all of a sudden, 2015 rolls its head around the corner. And then all of a sudden, we have a dysfunctional team. Dez Bryant, overweight, not in shape. Tony Romo never was in weight, never had hit the weights or what have you, always out of shape or what have you, because he wanted to do golf. I'm not throwing any shade or salt at Tony, but I believe Tony, with a better coaching staff that can hold him accountable, would probably had him a Super Bowl. Dare I say Tony Romo with the Saints or somebody like that. Tony Romo with a strong head coach like a Bill Parcells or something like that. Or somebody that can really sit Tony down and not be Tony's fanboy or what have you. That's what Jason Garrett was, in my opinion. So nobody held nobody accountable. And 2015 rolled around, and bam, we started off 2-0. We go into the Super Bowl, and bam, reality smacks us dead in the face. That's what happened in 2015, right? Let me know if I'm wrong. Let me know if I'm wrong, Cowboy Nation. Jonathan, let me know. Yeah, Black, what's good with you on the Facebook, man? Let me know if I'm wrong. Jay, what's good, man? Let me know if I'm wrong. Jay Farm, what's good with you, man? So we don't want to go back to that situation. I really appreciate y'all, man. I really do. So what I want to happen is us not displaying our dysfunctions out there to the world, right? Let me just tell this quick story. Yeah, coaches don't make plays. Coaches not, running the raw ball, and coaches not catching the ball. But let's talk about this. Let's talk personal, right quick, Cowboy family. Willie Brown Jr., what's good? Pablo, thank you. Cato, all of you guys. Cash, we all have problems at the house, right? Always a lady. I'm going to use you as an example because you're right here. Jay Form, shout out to you, man. He says, I blame 2015 for Dez and Romo. He's speaking right on the money. I always spoke the truth. But I'm going to use always a lady as an example. We all have problems at our house, right? We all have situations and issues at our house. But what we do, we don't display it to the universe to see. Always a lady. When we have situations and problems at the house, we might fuss, we might fight, we might always look at it like this and say, hey, baby, I know it was my time to take out the trash, you see? But let's talk about this before you jump down my throat. The reason why I don't take the trash out at night because the raccoons get in it, baby. You see? But if the news reporter is right there sitting there watching us, and I'm just speaking in true terms, man, law and always a lady, always getting into it, man, over the trash can. But law's side of the story is this, baby. I take the trash out in the morning time so the raccoons don't, tear up the trash. But I overslept. Now, as a man, I would say, baby, let's kiss on it, and just, I get away from the situation, baby, let's kiss on it. It won't happen again, you see. That's the good way to handle it, guys, you see. But the Cowboys don't know how to say, baby, let's just kiss on it, you see. And that's the problem with this organization. We display our dysfunctions out there for the universe to see and the world to see. And people say, oh, look at the drama in the Big D. And Jerry Wade, he can't just say, well, baby, let's just kiss on it, you see. My bad. I fell on the sword, you see. I wanted to take the trash out this morning, but I overslept. I had too much Johnny Walker Blue, baby. It won't happen again. Remember, fellas, the lady's always right. And you can win every argument by saying, baby, you're right. Baby, you're right. Don't worry, you're right. You won. Don't say that you won because he really get at you. But just say, baby, you're right. I take that trash out. Matter of fact, I'm going to put it in the back of the car and we're going to drive down into the dumpsters and we're going to get rid of this trash. But the Cowboys display all of their dysfunctions out there in the public. Everybody got problems. The Eagles got problems, believe it or not. The Redskins got problems. The Giants got problems. But it's not displayed. All of the 31 other teams got problems, but the Cowboys are the only team that's talking about contracts during the Super Bowl, before the Super Bowl, after the Super Bowl. I'm sitting there like, look, ESPN. I wanted to call in the ESPN and say, hey, I'm a Dallas Cowboys diehard fan, but can we talk about Pat Mahomes at least for 2 or 3 series? Can we talk about the team that just won the Super Bowl? Can we talk about what the teams are going to draft with? Let's talk breaking down the draft at least. Let's go over some players, some future talk. Can we start talking about some positive stuff? But no, they say, hey, drama and Big D, that's starting topics, you see. And then 10, 20 minutes after that episode go off, my inbox is full with all of that hatred stuff, Law, is Chris Jones coming back to their team this season? Or are you talking about Chris Jones, the punter? Or are you talking about Chris Jones for the Kansas City Chiefs? Because Chris Jones, the punter, I don't know. But I don't know. Law, we need the NFL and JJ to leave our team alone and let Mike McCarthy and Mike Nolan do what they do best. This is a king. Yeah. I can see the writing on the wall already. And it's to their favor. And it's always going to be to their favor, the NFL, because it's going to sell. It is really going to sell. Carolina, I really appreciate you for tuning in. Shout out to you for the loves. But it's really going to happen this way. If the Cowboys lose the first game, doom and gloom situation. If the Cowboys start off 0-2, they start bringing up the fact that there's never been a team since the Cowboys to win the Super Bowl since they was 0-2. I think that was the year that Emmitt Smith held out, right? Or the Cowboys start off 1-0, 2-0. If the Cowboys start off 2-0, they going to the Super Bowl, right? If the Cowboys start off 3-0, everybody, mama, uncle, cousin going to be saying this negative situation. Remember last year? Remember last year they went 3-0. Oh my goodness, man. Really appreciate you, Star Boy, man. Really appreciate you, Star Boy 50. Talk about how much harder Marion ran than Zeke does. Marion the Barbarian. You talking about him? Because Marion ran the rock. He was no Ezekiel Elliott, but he ran hard. He flat out ran hard, man. Shout out to you, man. Thank you so much for making a donation to help grow this thing, though. I would trade Zeke to an AFC team that needs a runner and a contender for picks and high defensive caliber players. I would trade D-Law, get 2 young defensive edge rushers, basically, on each side. This is from Cash. My goodness, man, that's a heavy trade demand, Cash. Objectively speaking, with that, I don't think that that's feasible. I just don't think that that's feasible at all to trade away. We've been live for 1 hour, 10 minutes. I'm gonna give you guys another 15 minutes, hopefully, before I get out of here. Here's why that's not feasible. And I have to say this, and my guy Jay Form hit on this earlier. You see, in Madden and EA Sports, whatever else game console out there, there's no feelings, there's no emotions. You can flip the team just like that. You can change your team just like that. But in reality, in real life, there are emotions, there are feelings. There are, regardless of how you look at it, you can say that there's no passion, there's no feelings with these players. But they do hear you guys. When you're at the game and you say, F you, you suck. Man, if I see you in Walmart, I'm going to give you my elbows, man. I can't stand you. You missed that pass. They can hear. They're not deaf. And they see you with the corner of your eye. And they say, man, I remember him, you see. Just like that with the actual players versus the fans, these players looking at situations, dare I say, with each other. You see, DeMarco Murray situation, although we as fans were sitting there saying, man, there's a lot of meat on the bones, man. He fumbled the ball. He sucked. But he was a people's person in that locker room. You see, him, Jason Witten, Tony Romo, Dez Bryant, you see, the whole front offensive line, they gelled together. So when people say that this player is not worth something, they kind of feel a certain way. And they knew what Randall was before Randall was still in cologne and draws and these sort of things, you see. Because Murray came from the Elk before Randall came onto the team. But the problem is that we treat these guys, for one, as if they already 30, 35 years old and 40. These young kids, these kids are 22, 23, 24, 25. They haven't even experienced life altogether. And every time they pull up social media, they see these negative words about them. They seeing that people saying that they're not worth something, you see. And inch by inch, it builds animosity. It builds distrust with the organization, too, for them leaking out situations. It builds, oh, my goodness, I can't believe they talking about me like this. But these are still kids, 22, 23, 24, 25. Can you imagine when you were 23, 24, 25 and you're handed $100 million, even if you're handed $5 million? That's a lot of money, man. A lot of responsibilities. But we will look at it and say these guys should be able to handle that. And they will display it. But you only seeing them for 3 hours. 24 hours in a day, you say. But that's all I want to bring home is that's why I'm glad that we got a Rob Davis now that can identify with some of these players and probably pull them to the side and say, hey, don't let that worry you. Or we moving on from you from these angles because of this and because of that. I played the game, you see, and this is what they're trying to do. This is what we're going to make sure that's going to happen. But it is what it is, Cowboy Nation. I really appreciate you all. I really value everybody's opinion. And Cash is not wrong or right, about the situation of we should trade Ezekiel Elliott or we should trade the laws of the world. But there's the circumstances when you do that. Here's the circumstances. All right, Cowboy Nation, I really appreciate you all. I really do, man. Don't forget to hit that like button, share this content. If you're on my Instagram page, man, share this thing all around the world. If you're on my Facebook group, really appreciate you all. Got a website, lawsnation.net. Check their website out. It's independent. It's mine. It's making media independent again, however you want to call it. I'm also on Periscope. Hit me up there. I really appreciate you all. I want to say this from the deep down in the bottom of my heart. I'm not always right. I'm not right at all most of the time. I'm more wrong than right, but I continue. And it's something about having that reverence to continue to trying to better your best. I stumble over words. We talk long hours, and a lot of time people look at it and say, well, can you make this show 5 minutes long, man? I got other things to do. Just play it in the background while you're working on your car or while you're with your wife or with your loved one or with your husband. Play it in the background. Help the nation grow, man. And one day, you guys may turn on your Roku device again and you see my face there. You turn on ESPN. You say, man, I know that guy. That's Law, man. What's up, Law? And the difference between ESPN and all of those other talk shows is that we give back to the nation. We give shout outs, man. Your name is on the screen there. And we speak. We you guys see me. Last season I tried to be as transparent as possible. 2018 I wasn't. So I said, you know what? I show some of my emotions. I show some of the highlights and the lowlights of me. So when we do a game, we lose and win, lose or draw, I'm sitting there like, yes, go, come on, yes, hey, I'm happy, you see. But go back and watch some of those videos, man. It's transparent. It's possible. And that's why, this nation is growing, man. I really appreciate you all. I don't belong here. You guys help support me to stay here, and I appreciate it. Deep down in my heart, as they say, if you want a thing bad enough to go out and fight for it, to work day and night for it, to give up your time and your peace and your sleep for it, if all of your desires of it, if you can't make it without all of those type of momentum and pushing of the mind, then baby, I would tell you that you will not find a way to get back on top. You got to continue to grind. So let me see if I can play my outro music. Let's get on out of here. 5, 4, 3, 2. Yo, let's go. One day at a time, one movement at a time. I cannot leave until there's fire on the screen. Let me see some fire emojis, baby. Yeah. One day at a time, baby. Let's go. Yo, let's see it, baby. Smash that like button, baby. One way or another. Baby Beard Gang, baby. Y'all see it? There we go. 5 time, baby. Yeah. They say, Law, give up. You will never amount to anything. But all we do is continue to grind. And all we do is we continue to find ways, opportunities, chances, responsibilities, not just of our heart and mind and soul. Everything else, we continue to grind, Cowboy Nation. I know it. You guys got it. One way or another. I keep growing. They say, Law, shouldn't you be full? No. I can't stop right now. Why stop? We just begun. And when we begin to start, we tell everybody, yes. Oh, yes. We continue to grow. Yeah, gotta blow that thing up. Let's blow this thing up right here. Let's blow this up. Yeah. Put it over here. Yeah. on, baby. Yes. Just go. Yes. Yeah. Let's go. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Yes. Never enough. Never enough. They say, Lord, give up on them Cowboys. We never giving up, baby. We're alive like 95, one way or another. Everybody else in this division, even though, I gotta say this, even though they've been doing their thing for 25 years, they still looking up. Tell me how those neck muscles feel. Let's go. Let's go, baby. We out. And remember, you're listening to nothing, and I mean absolutely nothing but the best. Let's go. Let's go, baby. Luke.